Hola, tacos. It's me, Suze. Somebody's always singing something, aren't they? I had a great day with music. Of course, I'm coming to you live from the third cosmic ray in the belly of the beast, the ghetto, St. Louis, Missouri. You know, I really wanted to make my appearance before midnight, but believe it or not, Elvis's movie, Wild in the Country, is still on in the other room. I walked out. We'll talk about it. We'll discuss why. And isn't it amazing? All these movies are on St. Louis channels. Turns your whole world upside down. Just kidding. Um, it's actually really cool. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Brandon wants to know, am I live at Sue's Pratt, the holistic stylist? No, 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 Brandon. No. Brandon at Sophia's Emporium channel. Oops, forgot the L. Okay, great. So we got a hold of Brandon. He said earlier, Fiery Leo comes to mind on this picture. And I'll tell you something about this picture. True story, of course, like always, it just sounds so incredibly bizarre. This one night, I got taken around the globe online on the internet and was shown incredible concerts from all around the world. And they just kept playing and it kept happening. And of course, I took pictures because da 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 da, I learned how to take a screenshot by then. Remember, this is a 4.5 year journey with no computer knowledge whatsoever to begin with. And it was, like I said, it was about a year and a half ago when I learned the art of just doing the two buttons at once. And it seems to have revolutionized a great way to bring the story to people accurately. But this was from one of those concerts, and that's one of my crystal balls that I put in front of the screen because I play pitch and catch with this invisible man, like I talk about. And number one, the International Man of Mystery, is exactly who is responsible. Hey, what's this? Now, look, this isn't my picture. Isn't this interesting? And what I'm seeing below me, okay, so there's there's the image that I just showed you, and then we have 6 others behind them. So honestly, this is as much of a surprise to me as you guys. IR light and VR wand. FRL spins when brown with a smiley face. And then, of course, to the right we have Flying Rainbow Lasagna. Is that what that says under my picture? Hang on. If so, then we know it's the wonderfully creative Aurora. Tag it, flying rainbow lasagna, son of a gun. Okay, so I've never seen this. Copper wire poked through lid and center of FRL. Anchored to wrapped clear quartz between two magnets. Hey, Aurora, I've got some great clear quartz and a buttload of magnets. Okay, let's see. Now, on the left, I see concrete, and then on the right, it says diatomaceous earth. And see, you can get that at the health food store. So, for example, I've seen that. And people use it for all sorts of household uses. Some people actually imbibe it and take it internally. Hmm. Okay, and then you want clear rose and amethyst and citrine crystal powder. I mean, I have all the crystals, so it would be a matter of grinding them into a powder, it sounds like. We see the magnets, and then it says DE plus crystal powder and shungite crystal. Hey, Aurora. I actually have a whole bunch of shungite crystals, and you know, it's hard to find real ones anymore because pretty much the supply has been grabbed up, as we all know. So that's a really good thing to have in your arsenal of survival tools. Okay, now it says intended to broadcast your FRL shape and truth to the entire multiverse and bring you even more success in all of your endeavors. All I can say is bless your heart and namaste, man. Wow. Okay. What else we got here? Let's find out. Now I know where these pictures come from. I mean, in my mind, I'm building a story. So, my friend Brandon, and this would be spiritual research. Brandon and Tracy are wonderful friends, and they're in Alaska. And recently I saw some of their artwork, whether it was their jewelry or orgonite pieces, energy pieces. And if I know anything, I'm going to say Brandon Whalen made this piece. I mean, maybe Tracy Sherwood did, and I don't know my butt from a hole in the ground, but they're the same person because they're a couple. And they're making things together, and they're really cool, and they got their act together. What? Who's calling me? Bob sent a sticker. We'll have to check that out later. All right, let's see what else we got here. Absolutely. This is now here. I'm gonna have to say that one of the three, Aurora, Brandon, or Tracy, somebody made this. But the flying rainbow lasagna is definitely Aurora's inspired ideas and the knowledge that she's brought to the community. Well, I know what this is too. Okay, so here's what this is. Now, if you guys are familiar with Wilhelm Reich or orgone energy or crystal staves or cloud busters or weather devices. Okay, so imagine that you create this beautiful energy tool, but you don't just want to go stick it outside in your front yard because some punk might come steal it and think it's a toy, right? So I've seen it done where they'll take a big I guess it's like a 10-gallon, you know, plastic container that drywall mud and things come in. And you fill that with concrete and you make your orgonite base. So, see, nobody's stealing this. This is pretty heavy. It's been filled with the energetic substance, which is beyond concrete. There's sand in it. There should be probably some kind of metal shavings, and that that this right here, this is embedded in that concrete. Okay, so this goes outside on your deck or your patio or whatnot, and then when you want to put your tool into place, it locks in. And I know that there's another piece that locks top to bottom. And I promise nobody's taking your shit. So that is absolutely beautiful. Just gorgeous. Okay. So in this picture, obviously, they're making bases like this for their friends and family and loved ones. And Brandon and Tracy live in Alaska, and they've been getting plummeted with a bunch of earthquakes, as many of you know. A lot of their roads and things are just out of commission. I mean, when the ground caves in, you just don't cry to somebody to poof it back into place. So you can make force fields, and I know that that sounds completely wackadoo to some people, but those people are just ignorant. So don't ever let them make you feel uneducated or unmotivated, because this stuff really does work. So these are other bases, and I see they've used a couple flower pots, odds and ends that are around the home. Stunning. That's me. And I've got a screenshot up because somebody's jerking my chain. And that looks like all the picture. Oh my gosh. You know, I told Brandon and Tracy just the other day, hey, how do I get out of here? Is that, whoa, wait. Shh. I don't know what y'all are doing. We've had concerts all day. Let me get myself to where I should be. Boy, did Howard Dalton surprise me today. Howie Jones, the poet. What a cool guy you are. And I'm not just saying this, Howie. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. You were in my head within 24 hours of this happening. So I'm not going to say if you were in my head before I fell asleep or after I woke up, but you were there, and I thought, man, sometimes I suck as a friend because I'm not there for each one of my friends, you know, and nobody can do that. That's kind of not so boingo, but I just do want you to know, Howie, that, man, I had fun with you, and I'm going to continue to talk about you. Now, in the meantime, there was another live watch party, and I don't know who they were, but they're all in the group. And like I said, it's coded message central, so I am the decipherer of code, and it's been pretty fun. Bob Anderson says yay. God love him. Bob and his lady are very nice too. We'll have to just get those out of here for a minute. Okay. Can I get back to my page, please? Hey, and I want everybody to know. I mean, seriously. If anybody should be pissed off about the monkey business that goes on Facebook, it should be your old buddy, Sue's. I mean, really. Because I just wanted to reconnect with my friends from high school, and, then you come to find out the whole background story behind the progression of dirty deeds done dirt cheap on social media, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. And, it's funny, people only have so much energy. And so I think that they put their focus on their favorite. And so, for example, if I have time, which time is mine, I choose. But what I'm saying is, like, say, for example, a day, I wanted to listen to music. And I was screaming it from the top of my lungs. I mean, literally. Because the chaos was bullshit. And, music, Sue's a savage beast. But anyhow, I'm done with this nonsense on Facebook. I'm only there to really expose it, no different than being on YouTube. I do what I do to document my journey. Now, I'm not on Twitter because I don't want to fight anybody, especially when you're under 140 words. And they say 85% of all this cyber war shit is fought on Twitter. And just to add one more extension to that, this is really messed up. And the realization came to me today. So, isn't it amazing that the Cold War was defined as a time of not using nuclear weapons? It wasn't hot. There wasn't explosions. Brandon's watching. Good. I'm so glad you're here, Brandon. But what blows my mind is that ever since this internet, and especially the social media part, that's where the Cold War has been mainstreamed. But I guarantee you, every day that I have lived in 2019, I can tell you that what is happening has quadrupled, in my opinion. And it was already pretty action-packed before. But this is beyond what I could have ever imagined. And, I think if they throw it all on you at once, even somebody like me would probably fall over and have to be revived with smelling salts. They call that the vapors. Okay, now we're going to work this just like we did the night before, which is we go to the bottom because that would be the beginning of the day, and we work to the top. And in that way I don't get confused and I don't forget anybody. I want to open with what Medicine Bear White Bow would like y'all to know. And deep down, it makes perfect sense to me because I've seen all the other rotten things that have happened. But every time the program is tweaked, they add something new. So here it is. Okay, and what I said was, when will they learn there are no secrets? And they know who the offenders are as they commit the act It is Mr. Computerhead's realm. No matter how you label this electronic technology that Tavis crack, oh, I mean stock, from the front man Marky Mark. That's what I'm talking about. So I said fair play is a two-way street. And so this is January 3rd at 10:29 p.m. And it says apparently someone has found another way to hurt and offend people for no reason. Here's a heads up for everyone. There's a new hack on Facebook. It includes a hurtful phrase coming from you. It is usually very dirty and appears that you have written it. You will not see it, but your friends will. This creates many misunderstandings. So to all of my contacts, if anything shocking, inappropriate, or indecent ever appears on my timeline, please know it did not come from me. They also can hack your pictures. You may wish to copy this to your wall. Thanks. Thank you. Okay. Now, one more thing. And he did share this like 9 minutes prior to, 8 minutes prior to sharing what I just shared with you guys, right? So now I say ditto, dude. And this says, I hereby give my permission to Facebook, the police, NCIS, CSIS, the FBI, CIA, MI5, MI6, the RCMP, the Swiss Guard, the Priory of Zion, the inhabitants of Middle-earth, Wonder Woman, Agents Mulder and Scully, the Goonies, all the Stormtroopers and Darth Vader, the Mad Hatter, Chuck Norris, SHIELD, of course, with the periods between each word, or each letter, the Avengers, the Illuminati, Snoopy, Charlie Brown and the rest of the Peanuts gang, the Men in Black, X-Men, ZZ Top, Ghostbusters, the Justice League, Gondalf and Dumbledore, Santa Claus, oh, I know Santa, the Easter Bunny, the Great Pumpkin, the Flying Spaghetti Monster, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the fucking Tooth Fairy, the Krampus, and all the members of the Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Black Sabbath, Voltron, the Hardy Boys, the Groovy Ghoulies, the Thundercats, Doctor Who, Heart to Heart, Mystery Incorporated, Scooby-Doo, James Gardner, Angela Lansbury, the WWF, the EPA, Magnum PI, He-Man, Jay and Silent Bob, fucking Dogma. Alright, sorry. Okay. Cheech and Chong, Neo, Blade, IS, ISIS, ISIL, Dash, and the Boondock Saints, and even the Florida Gators to view all the amazing and interesting things that I post on Facebook. I'm aware that my privacy ended the very day that I created a Facebook profile. I know that whatever I post can, and usually does, get shared, tagged, copied, and posted elsewhere because I'm that fascinating. If I don't want anyone else to have it, then I don't post it. Thank you and have a good day. I love Bear. Fucking awesome. Alright, so I gave this one the turd smile, and it's, Mark Simone shared this on January 1st. Here's one of the most ridiculous characters on Earth. Mr. Climate Change. The oligarch, Michael Bloomberg. The single biggest polluter on the Earth, flying alone all over the world on a private jet, a guy with 11 houses, 3 planes, 2 helicopters, 6 boats, and 42 cars. And he's lecturing you about how you need to conserve fuel. And that's it. Hashtag do as I say, not as I do. Now, I wanted to approach the bench of this cosmic court with a question. And I don't mean any disrespect to the makers of this fallen world. But if all of these banks are really bankrupt and all the corporations are really not doing even what you could call humane things, but if you consider both of these areas, the actual individual has no responsibility. And that's the opposite from us, where they call us straw man and that we have no rights and that we're indentured servants under laws and regulations built by a corporation, where the actual people that sit on the board are exempt. Now, in my mind, it would be kind of like this China shit. Okay. So, for example, if you're a fucked up corporation like Bear Monsanto and you owe gajillions and millions of dillions of fucking whatevers to pay back doing what was done under false pretenses. Well, they don't even have that kind of tea in China. Now, in the meantime, China lands on the dark side of the moon, fucking blow me sideways. Where's your cash? And China's in as much debt as we are, and then the next guys are in that much debt, and so forth and so on. And I mean, they would really crash everything in and destroy everything in preference to having the human entities behind this simply give up their failed enterprise. I mean, anyone that's had a failed business knows what it's like. They have to close the doors. Doesn't matter if it's your fault or if it's your landlord's fault. It doesn't matter if there's a natural disaster or martial law. And now we've got martial law, dancing around in the background like, we're gonna come take your house. You're gonna be fucked. And it's like, well, why would you play that game? Considering that this is Wizard of Oz retarded computer shit. I mean, that's all that I'm saying. And a lot of these corporations are now run by computers, so are institutions, and whoever is the programmer of that computer, here again to me, would be who would be held liable. You seize their assets, and I'm a nice girl. You take half. Half. And if they don't close their doors and restructure like Gerald Celente would talk about, in Trends 2000, fucking 20 years ago, about how to do right livelihood business. But you bring somebody to the front that has a decent business plan, which is completely lacking in today's structure, except for behind the scenes. So when you ask later on how this all happened, I can assure you that there was a strong business model in place a decade before what we're experiencing now. So, anyhow, these two articles right here, Since we're talking about Gerald, let's just stay on subject. When I was doing wellness seminars in 2005, and when I was doing platform education in 19, well, no, I guess it would have been, this would have all been beyond 2000. Yeah, because I got Gerald's book in 1999. I actually called his office, and I believe his secretary's name was Celeste at that time, and asked permission to actually copy his work and hand it out to people. Because at that point, what I did was took a yellow highlighter and highlighted every aspect of what I was already doing at the Hair Emporium. Even though it was on a very small scale, I'm just one bitch, right? But the essential template was in place. And then I could see through continued growth where I could expand and go into new venues of business. So, Gerald Salente, and all I could do today was put my hands up like, like thanks, like this. I couldn't even find words for it. Gerald has so much experience. He has studied this for so long. He coined tracking trends. But nobody knows that because they don't know Gerald. And then you know what I gotta do? I gotta go like this. Like what Gerald would do. He'd go, and then he'd hit his bullshit button. People know Gerald Salente. Promise. All over the world. Fantastic man. And, a lot of people rag him out because they play politics on this fine man. But in the end, like I was talking about yesterday, so I'll continue to build on themes. Anybody that has anything to contribute, I mean, surely they have to speak their own words that come out of their heart brain. No more written speeches by other educated boofs that are paid by lobbyists that, steal money and redirect it. It's old, man. It's old hat. In the meantime, ooh, I just hit the space out bar a little bit. Hang on. With this restructuring, okay. Your own speeches. Oh, yeah. Somebody like Gerald Salente. He would immediately be brought into an advisory panel committee of people that know so much and already have everything documented and prepared and ready to go. Not much different than Project Veritas. And both of these people want peace to be occupied. So, Gerald just put up a video, and it is called The Markets Buy, Sell, Hold, or Gold. And, considering that my family's stocks have all been stolen, I don't have any money to buy gold or silver or play the market or any of those things. Very few people do. But I think that Gerald said, don't quote me, that we need gold to get to 14.5 if things would be at their best, it sounds like. But he said something that is another thing that's really plaguing me. So if they intentionally, I'm talking about the banks, overloaded me with credit that I didn't ask for, and then dropped my credit score rating because I refuse to spend on my charge card because I'm not a materialist. As they drop the credit score, that goes arm in arm with an extra reason to poke you and tell you that's why they're raising your interest rate. So 24.9 is where my cards sit that started with 14.9. That's 10%. And that's a lot when you don't have much. But it's happening to everybody. It's called the squeeze. I think even rich people are feeling it. I don't really know. But this thing that's going on with, and we talked about it, not all hackers are bad. Maybe they're not really hackers. Maybe that's the word the bad guys use for them because, like usual, the person usually doing it is the one that's accusing you of doing it. And if you steal something from somebody, kind of like their life, or their liberty, or their ability to do business, or their ability to function without constantly being under duress and trauma. Well, now we're talking about human right violations. And so it just gets bigger and bigger. And so that's why I say there are people that are very well known that are already connected. And without sounding like I know something that I'm not supposed to know, because I'm just supposed to be about gossip, but I would have to tell you that these people already have a plan B, and an agreement. Because whether or not Trump is in a bunker, don't think for a minute that a computer is going to be running things when the grid shuts down. Okay, let's go on to James O'Keefe. Now, this is very interesting. I love Project Veritas, and Project Veritas reminds me a lot of Wham, and I've introduced you to Wham. They're out of Canada. Everybody that's anybody is out of Canada, which I think is another coded message, but maybe it's the real deal. They say their economy's crashing in. I don't know. I mean, people would tell you that I can't even get the pulse on what's going on here in St. Louis, but, you know, in the meantime, I gotta tell you something, too. They say the amount of gunfire that went off in Ferguson and Blackjack broke the machines that detect it. I mean, that's ate up like a soup sandwich. And, you know, you just gotta wonder, I mean, how the fuck did it break it? Whether or not it has something to do with microwaves, if you would go check out somebody that was weather related, they would show you how they can use directed energy weapons like microwaves to heat up the atmosphere and like keep storms in the same place and stall them and do weird shit. So to me it all ties together, and that is allegedly one of my talents. A lot of people don't see it that way, but I don't accept it, but I can understand it. I know that I know it's a difficulty. Okay. Oh, wait. I didn't talk about you. James. Okay. All right, watch this, y'all. Give me just a second. Okay, you can't see me, but you can see the screen, and everything is groovy. Right? Okay. So, these are the comments coming back from my big mouth talking on YouTube. So you see, it doesn't matter whether you're on YouTube making a sincere statement or comment, or whether you're on Facebook, you run the same risk of being attacked. It is no different. So, um, earlier today, this is the business I got. Hang on. All right, here we go. For any of you guys that don't know, this is James O'Keefe. And, here again, you look at him, and he's such a well dressed, clean cut guy. And that doesn't mean he's a button up Vato. A button up Vato's an ass kisser. This guy is a man, and he is addressing a group. So, I'm going to turn him up a little bit. Talking about moral courage. Let's listen in.
Military philosopher is concerned, there is this sort of courage to charge up the hill with a rifle and take it to the enemy. And that courage is probably easier to understand. And then there's a second type of moral courage, and that's the courage to not do what is always popular and to risk your reputation. And from my experience recruiting, and by the way, it's a very, very difficult thing to hire undercover journalists. These people don't have bylines, unlike every other journalist under the sun. They go into a place pretending to be something they're not in order to expose the truth. And sometimes they get arrested. And no one will ever know they're doing it. And they can't even tell their friends and family they're doing it.
James, I didn't even know I was doing it, and then I had to tell my friends and
Doing
family.
a lot of things, and we have journalists in these safe houses around the United States. We have journalists here in D.C. And you don't know where they are. They're kind of like germs. They're kind of spreading everywhere. But this sort of courage is lacking, and people used to do this. Mike Wallace used to do it. The Chicago Sun-Times used to do it. You read in history books about Upton Sinclair. He used to do it, but nobody does it anymore.
I do it,
And there
but
are
I didn't
reasons
know
for
I
that.
was doing it.
I think journalism has ceased to be investigative. It's become all narrative and hyperbole, and it's unbearable. You can't even watch cable news. The chyrons are outrageous on CNN, especially the last week. And
I
the
never
journalism
watched it.
stopped being journalism because of three factors: greed, laziness, and fear.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about fear. My friend
right.
Jack Cashel told
All right, we're
me
going to
there are
talk
three
about
types of
fear. Go ahead.
Fear for your life, fear for your
That's
freedom,
good.
and fear for your reputation. It's this last type of fear that is the thing that is deterring people. The fear of the humiliating power of the press, as Dinesh D'Souza would call it. The humiliating power of the press. Everyone in this room knows what I'm talking about. There are people oftentimes in this city who are utterly afraid to stand up for their own principles because they know what CNN is going to say about them if they do. And it's that fear that deters people from doing the right thing. Another example, my friend Bill Whittle told me about this story, this Mark Twain story, in which a general during the Spanish-American War asked his troops to raise their hands if they were willing to lose their lives for their country. And of course, everyone raised their hands, willing to lose our lives. And then the general asked them if they would be willing to be perceived as traitors for the well-being of their country. Nobody raised their hands. They were more afraid of the perception of their reputations than the actual being of their country. And I've seen this many times in my own life, and I want to talk to you about that. Now, say what you might say, and I get asked about this guy, Ed Snowden, all the time. I'm sure people in this room are mixed about him, maybe even not mixed. But he ruined his reputation. Now he's exiled in Russia. That might be even worse than being in jail.
Okay. So, now I want to read the comment that came in. And this was in relation to what I said. Where is it? Is it the top or at the bottom now? What the hell's going on? Okay. It's at the top. And so far, this is 8 hours ago, so this shit's moving fast. What I said was the first time I heard your offer, I smiled and stayed quiet, waiting. Coming your way with expediency. Thank you for hope. The fear I've already put to rest. Now, like I said, I really didn't know that my journey would lead me to this place. I don't mean that I'm a moron and I didn't know what I was doing. Every day, major important things happened. And as usual, I take them all serious. Um, I think we should all take things a little more seriously, but there's so much trauma and fear going, and especially for reputation, and believe me, I know, because nobody's reputation is worse than mine. I mean, among people that should actually want to be my friend, even. And that's really a fucked up place to be because these people all claim to help those people, that have real experiences. And of course, mine I put right in people's face and they got blinders on, they look the other way, they make up stories, whatever it takes. And that's denial. So, anyhow, look what this lunatic says to me. Jerry would be, and that would be WHIDBY, 5 hours ago, says, you should probably take down identifying videos like the pictures show Elvis and me if you want to be an undercover reporter, just saying. Now, what I found odd about this, and let me move the camera up for you, is Jerry Wibley is so fucking special that he doesn't even have an avatar circle. But let's get a little more specific, shall we? Because we're going to get pretty specific about shit tonight. Let me grab some kind of point. Alright. So, the way I see it on Jerry Wibley, there is a very light gray part of a circle. And if I had to say what percentage of the circle it was, I would say it's a quarter. Do y'all see it? Top right hand. Runs in line with the J pretty well. The lower part of the light gray line extends below the J, as much as the top part above the J. Just to give you an exact location. Right under the letter H. So, Jerry is so fucking special that he doesn't have to have an avatar. Now, I've never seen that game yet. I mean, you know what I'm saying, right? And the games change daily. The algorithm progresses, and live action role players are not LARPs in the regard of hoaxsters. They're creating reality. That's all it is. So the next time somebody, man, I wish this earring would stay the right daggum way. But, the next time somebody says that, what you have to realize is depending on if they look at the cup half empty or half full, negative or positive, duality's a bitch, right? But that would be dependent on what they would say a LARP is. And each word that you engage is the exact same way. Alright, so what I said to Jerry was, why do you have no avatar yet make suggestions towards me? Now, I ask you here again, depending on what mood you're in, can you see where that statement would sound like a smartass or not? Now, to me, I actually took the time to not attack him or be a bitch or a smartass and put together a sentence that was neutral. Not ass kissy like come be my friend, or not like blow me sideways. That's proper engagement with someone, if you ask me. Now, I do want to read what Project Veritas writes, and this was pinned, so it was the original comment that was at the top, and now they've highlighted my comment. But Project Veritas 8 hours ago, which is right in line, because I try to explain this to people. Okay, like Chant-a-Lot on his show last night said that he doesn't have time because he's too busy with family and everything he's doing to look at anything any of his respected friends send him. Well, see, to me, this is the same kind of thing. Because if you're not taking the time to actually check out a video and read the comments section and just go on gossip about what someone has parroted or played telephone with, well, you can see where the situation gets pretty volatile. So, what Project Veritas said was many of you will be skeptical, and that is understandable. Nobody has asked you to do this before, to make this sort of sacrifice, to take this risk. But we believe our country needs you, at the very least. Project Veritas needs you. There's so many things we want to accomplish in the coming years, but we just don't have the manpower to match our expansion plans. Apply today at a HTTPS, which is secure, www.projectveritas.com/jobs. Okay, now, I need a job. I'm not allowed to work as a businesswoman in my community, and I have proven that overwhelmingly, while people like Chanter and Mel and Blowhole look the other way. This is about business procedures. This is about right livelihood. This is about picking our asses up and not being dependent on a government that's already turned its back on us. Happened hundreds of years ago. You weren't even born yet. It's not personal. Now, Ding Dong Jerry says, well, I better try to hide. Even if you never saw my silly face, this voice, you'd know it anywhere, and it'd either grind your gears or make you happy as hell. Your choice, you know, just like everybody. But I have legitimate paper documented evidence, and like James is talking about, hey, you know, they could break your door down with guns and raid you and take your shit and put you in jail. He's been in jail. Now, I've never been in jail, but my dad was a cop. And when I was a little girl, he used to take me to the Belridge Police Department, you know, and I mean, everybody was really nice. But my dad was an Aries, and he was always liking to play jokes, and he thought he was coy. So he'd tell me, little girl, if you ever get in trouble and walk on the, you know, walk on the criminalistic side, which, no, I did not. I was yelling about that earlier today, too, by the way. But, he'd say, this is where you're going to wind up. And he'd take me. It was not mean at all. I mean, it's really fucking funny if you think about it. He'd take me downstairs, which is where they held the, you know, the guys that were in lockup, you know. I'd be like, there's no fucking way I want to, you know, hang out with these dudes. I mean, what did I do? And he'd go, nothing, you're a good girl. I'm like, yeah. Don't be fucking poking me, telling me I did something wrong. So in the meantime, Well, people want to slander anybody's name, including my own. Um, See, I knew I was putting my life on the line the minute I started talking. And it didn't take no stupid internet for that. I was doing it back at the Hair Emporium long, long before this internet, which is why I was adaptable to the process, let's say. And, I was dealing with that a long, 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 long time before I opened the Hair Emporium, before I turned 21. I dealt with it all the way back to my childhood, and if I would have never spoke up about what happened to me, or been able to hold my head high even though I lived in a shithole and was raised by a pack of wolves, like I said last night. See, these are the nature and nurture Freudian terminologies that drive people nutso boingo, and then you get, the stock assholes, right? Saying, hey, psychiatry and drugs. No, man. Dealing with your issues. And your issues aren't yours, they're what's been laid upon you, and a combination of what you choose to ignore. So, like I was telling my son today, you have to be able to adapt and deal with the stress and the changing times and be okay within yourself and know what you have done, what you will do. And that's why, to this day, I am not compromised. And whether I work for them or whether I just share pertinent, documented information, it's none of fucking Jerry's business. I may be way too, it might be my cousin. Come down to two things, cussing and smoking. And for anybody to hassle me about smoking, here again, clean up your own backyard and then come talk to me, because I've eliminated poisons, more poisons than anybody can know, with the personal care product category. See, it's not just what you eat and drink, or the technology you engage in, or how you engage it. Oh no. It's your thoughts. It's your little secret world, all that shit. So, yeah, it's really none of Jerry's business, and I don't even think Jerry's a real guy. All right, now look, Lovey, I got to be able to have my arms. All right, let's get out of here. And here again, this is Project Veritas on YouTube, and the video is called Join the Project Veritas Army. James O'Keefe is hiring. One more thing, I wish that it was ingrained in my brain what the name of the man that he sincerely loved and emulated and looked up to, because he carries on his work. Project Veritas is second generation. It's not no bullshit coming up out of wherever people find their bullshit. I mean, I don't even know how old James O'Keefe is, and I'm terrible at guessing age. I never do well with this. But I would say James is under 40. Okay. Now, we really get into some big shit. This is fucked up. Now, I was minding my own business. And, okay. And what I had done is I shared a video in an Elvis fan page stream, a closed group, of the video that I created the content of. And when I say that, I'll explain it because I wrote it down and posted it and made it public. But anyhow, it's my damn video. And all of a sudden, I get the little thing come up that says, we muted your video. And, it's always these same weird countries that's always doing this. It's like the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia and all sorts of fucking places that should have nothing to do. Like, like when you hear that, you think, well, what the fuck does that have to do with the UK, the Computer Misuse Act, all the new rules and regulations that the UK is putting in, America's involvement, and America's own little agenda that is a whole different thing, but is really in concert with it. I don't know. But I can prove that I took that video not only because it's on my computer in my files, but because the night that number one took me around the world and showed me those concerts, and I know I've spoken about that. That was one of the videos he showed me, and it's Treat Me Nice. And from the time I saw it, I knew it wasn't Elvis. I mean, I knew it had been redone. It looks like Elvis. It sounds like Elvis. But I'm telling you, it's not the original song from the movie. I mean, I'll stake my reputation as the scribe in the Elvis Presley mystery. I mean, what the hell, This is what they wanted me to do, so I do it. And it was a really stormy night. And so at the end of it, when he's saying, if you really want my lovin', treat me nice, this fucking hellacious clap of thunder went off, and it shook the house, and it shook the computer, and it's on there. So I don't think that that's, well, let's go over it, because this is what you're dealing with on Facebook. Help Center. And I'm really supposed to talk to a computer. So here again, that's why I wrote the detailed account, which I think is a good way to document evidence. And so that's why I'm going to share it now. The FAQs in this section provides some information about copyrights, including how you can protect your own copyrighted work and avoid infringing the copyrights of other people when posting to Facebook, as well as how Facebook addresses reports of copyright infringement. If you believe someone is using your copyrighted work without your permission, you can fill out this form. Please note that laws in different countries may vary. Well, if you fill out the form, it sounds like you're walking right into a trap because somebody's going to object. I just added that in. All right. For more information on copyright law, you can visit the website of the U.S. Copyright Office or the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO. Facebook can't provide you with legal advice. So you may want to speak to an attorney if you have more questions about copyright. Now, historically, Help Center, I don't know if you know this, but the people that hold copyrights ripped them off from other people first off, and so I bring that into evidence specifically in regard to the video and what they've done with Elvis. So, learn more about copyright. What are copyrights and what do they protect? How do I know if I own the copyright in the work? So before we start this dance, you better tag Corey Good, David Wilcox, copyrights, secret space program. You see, it doesn't just stop at punk rock music with Joe from the Carolinas. Oh no. I mean, you see why I said it was never about that from the start? I didn't mean to be a bitch to anybody that followed these fools around. I was just saying I have a background in business, and I don't know. All right, here we go. 7 hours ago. On creative use, beginning at the start for Help Center. I am the one who held the recording device. This is easily proven due to the loud thunderclap at the end of video. More to follow. Dated at 1/4/19. I guess I should probably put my location on it. Now, a lot of people call that doxing yourself. Well, from the go, I represented myself as who I truly am, where I truly live, and what I truly do as a profession. The reason why is because, like Gerald Celente knows, you cannot separate yourself morally and ethically, dependent on whether you're in business mode or in personal mode. Okay. Next. What rights do I have? How long does the copyright protection last? What's the difference between copyright and trademark? How can I make sure the content I post to Facebook doesn't violate copyright law? Do they worry about that, like data hacking all our information, or... Okay. What is fair use? I think that's under the 1976 that I say. Can I still violate another person's copyright if I didn't intend to infringe? A video I posted was removed immediately. What happened and what are my options? What I said is on the rights of the copyright owner. The probability is overwhelmingly high that this is not the original footage from said movie. This image is the result of high technology and biometrics. The true owner of the vaults is the question. In parentheses, I said, and it is neither the actress, known as Priscilla, Lisa, or even the corporate entity, EPE. Next, the content I posted was removed because it was reported for intellectual property infringements. What are my next steps? Can you imagine filling this form out on the computer at this point? What happens if I repeatedly have content I've posted removed for violating someone else's? How does Facebook process United States Digital Millennium Copyright DMCA counter notifications? Say that one 3 times fast. How do I report copyright infringement on Facebook? What should I consider before submitting a report of intellectual property? No wonder people don't want to make videos, is all I can say to that. But technically speaking, as described, what I wrote down was as a creative content artist and the girl whose device has been compromised, being hijacked, and holding key evidence. I hope you believe that to the best of my knowledge, and having all Elvis Presley documents placed on my computer, not by me, this documents my recruitment as scribe to do a report on the case of hagiography that has been scripted about Elvis Presley. This is a working script, an algorithm of sorts, which is obvious. Next, how do I report copyright infringement? What should I consider? Doesn't this look like the same damn thing? See, that's what bugs me about these phony scripts like Wilcox. You know, I really take it seriously, right? And I'm trying to read it and trying to work with these people. And it seems like it's repeating itself. And it's giving me a pain in my head right up here. So, here again, we're dealing with mind control as far as what will you allow to tear you up or steal your energy. And you see, the reason I respond the way I do is directly so it doesn't tear me up and stress me out, because with my A blood type, it is a physiological reality that I internalize stress. And considering that they know about blood type variables, to pull this on someone is a known form of mental abuse and a stressor. It puts a person under duress. Now, another one of the things that I like to say, and it's true, and I've been saying it for years, long before I came online, is it offends my spirit. And this offends my spirit, this whole nonsense. I mean, I'm more dedicated to the positive side, like what James talks about, to let this shit get me. But, okay, let's read it. Copyright infringements are shown as what some call LARPs within the matrix of this internet. This is an educational piece created by myself and the interaction of a third party, to the best of my knowledge, so help me God. Oh, people, or I can hear it now, they're going to say, boy, she's a dramatic actress. And I'm going to say, hey, blow me sideways. This is me living my real life out loud, and I didn't even know I was an actress. Kind of like I didn't know that I did things just telling the truth that could wind me up dead or in jail. I thought this was interesting. Look at this one. I was on Facebook and saw an app developed by a third party that infringes my copyright or trademark. How do I report it? And I thought, what an inversion of what is really going on. And so, like we talked about yesterday, it is a fact that they have successfully melded 3 human minds non-invasively. No surgery, no bells or whistles, no attachments, no chips. This is telepathic. I'm one of them. I mean, nobody sent me a letter to tell me either. So I just know because of everything I'm involved in. And then when they keep putting it in front of your face, like, if it was me and I denied it, can you see how that would make me mentally ill? Because I would be denying the truth that is obvious to me and arises in me every day. And then invert it again and see how easy it is to become mentally unstable by being forced into these programs that we've been forced into. And so here again, if you're an O blood type and this happens, the best way for you to eliminate the stress is to do something physical. Exercise, don't fight. Sing, don't scream. Go work out in the garage instead of throwing an ashtray at somebody's head. Okay, now here's what I say. By no means is this worth a fight. This method of doing business is in the 21st century. Leaves your clients under a great deal of duress, considering all factors. I can hear it any time I desire privately. Whomever he deals with is his affair. I'm talking about number 1. The international man of mystery. Seriously. Okay. Now, This is interesting. And of course, I live right down the street from the Westlake landfill, and it's a radioactive medical experiment that they didn't seal in concrete or nothing on purpose. And it leaked into the river. And it likes to catch fire. And now that the government is partially shut down, well, there's a different state of affairs, let's say, obviously. And when the government partially shuts down, of course, something like not working on the landfill or closing your national parks versus getting rid of every one of these SOBs that isn't flying straight. And remember, you got remote viewers, you got heart math, you have all sorts of technology that you're unaware of. Believe me, give them a half hour in a room with each one of these people, they'll know who's who. So for all the people online that feel like they can't tell who's full of shit and who's not, I think that's an excuse. So tag it. This is a DHSS public comment sign-on letter, and I'm not going to read it and bored you guys because it's completely just what I talked about. But what I do want to bring to your attention on the situation, I want to read the comments. Love. I just want to see the comments, but sometimes you gotta type something to get back in there, right? Alright, where's the damn... No, one comment? Oh, no. I want the original comment stream. Where did it go? Because it doesn't matter. I can get why they took it. But, you know, the moms group, of course, is manipulated by these weasels because their kids are dying and they have cancerous tumors. And then you've got the other group that's saying, don't you know they're handing you a crock of shit again? And so this letter becomes a war document, and that's what I'll say to that. Next, I'm sharing a memory that's 3 years old. And this word, phaneron, is the collective total of all that is in any way or in any sense present to the mind, quite regardless of whether it corresponds to any real thing or not. Now, you should be able to see how that applies across the board no matter who you are, and especially if anyone's sitting in judgment of what I bring. This word describes that very thing. And I say, I remember meeting the Order of Merchants early on in the phenomenal journey online over 4 years ago. Now, I'll tell you, I haven't had any association with them. I'm just giving you the story. And so it says, very artistic in a sense of eurythmy, a term originated by Dr. Rudolf Steiner. Flow, speech, song, and a big story set in a traveling minstrel theme. All about doing business when you connect dots and decipher coded messages. In the end, everything is. Okay. Here we go. Now we're going to get into an interesting part. And here's what happened. There's a private... boogie. Somebody tells whoever's spellcasting out there and playing with the doll, they're gonna fry you. I felt that weapon. You think I'm fucking kidding? I'll fuck you up. Now, once you speak it, it must depart. That demon, that spell. And like I've always said, you call on the name of Jesus 3 times. So, Jesus, please heal me. Jesus, protect me. And Jesus, hold my hand. All right. I feel better. You know, on that movie, that fucking Elvis movie, the guy, the dad, had been making moonshine and adding different colors and flavors to it and selling it as cancer cures and shit. And they came and busted him. And that's what this reminds me of, is the placebo thing. Somebody's selling you a whole fucking thing in a bottle and pushing it at you to poison you. Well, anyhow, I'm not going to talk for a while. I'm redirecting my focus. Even though I sound pretty good, I just want to give myself a break. I have other things we need to do. So, I'm not going to bring you the rock concert story yet. I'm going to do something else I need to do. Let's get back to YouTube. That jackass earlier, Jerry, that told me, you know, all his fucking bullshit. He went to a very specific video of mine, and I still don't know why he chose that specific... Oh, no. I don't know why he chose that specific video. And I feel like if I review it and remote view it and do what naturally comes to me, that I will get a good feel. And I do want to say one other thing. This is a phenomenon in progress, as silly as that sounds, because I was going to do this whole series, Live 2019 Gossip, with my Sophia's Emporium logo. And do you know that I took the very same screenshot, but Mr. Computer Head decided to give me this image for my YouTube, and it's beautiful and brilliant, and it also came from concert night with him. I know where this picture comes from. It is my header as well on the channel, as you can see, but you actually get the whole image here, which is fascinating. Okay, the name of the video that he told me is going to get me in a heap of trouble would be the Elvis and the pictures showing me, and the pictures show Elvis and me. Now, what I wrote about this, you know, in my description for the video, is come along as we explore all the fakes, frauds, phonies, shills, beggars, traffickers, and many more aspects that try to pee in Elvis's Cheerios, so to speak. Uh-oh. I wanted to just explain to him, seriously, don't mute my whole video over this, because there's somebody else that's got rights to this music, and this doesn't need to turn into a tag it. It's the same subject we're on tonight. So let's just first thing I'll say. And we'll get on with the pictures. Wow. That's what I'm here to do, is share pictures. What a trip.
And, you know, even if you have a whole bunch of people that say go to your church and they're sending you condolences, it's not verbatim word by word. So when I saw it on
the Priscilla script is the subject.
I said, son of a gun, man. That is a script.
I've become fond of opera. Oh, and Alice in Chains. That was the other subject. What happened to me? Did I fall out? Hola. We got time running. Where is my voice? This is weird. Do you guys see what I'm seeing? My video is gone. I mean, it's right here in front of my face. Now, hang on. Okay, we're running here. Nobody's hacked me and frozen my screen. But I'm not talking. And you guys know that's impossible. There's no way in hell. Alright, now wait. Everybody's... hang on.
Your family can be sealed together.
Oh, fuck. I was tripping. Okay, we gotta turn Wozak off over here. My apologies.
And this is TSOE 2018. So make sure to listen to the year. Here we go. Ready?
What the fuck? Oh, 2005.
Yes, 2005, take 3.
Okay, now, real quick since we're live. You heard 2005, take 3. Believe it or not, this video was blocked in Andorra, United Arab Emirates, Afghanistan, Antigua, and 244 other countries. Now, in the end, I've just filed a dispute via Facebook over 1 minute 9 seconds of some music that got played, and I wanted to just explain to him, seriously, don't mute my whole video over this, because there's somebody else that's got rights to this music, and this doesn't need to turn into a big war, although everybody's finding out. So let's just skip over the music. Tag that war again. What the fuck? And we'll get on with the pictures. Man, I'm sorry. Don't nobody think I'm making moves on you. I'm fucking burning up.
You know, even if you have a whole bunch of people that say go to your church and they're sending you condolences, it's not verbatim word by word. So when I saw it on David Wilcox's alleged letter, I said, son of a gun, man. That is a script, and people are taking different paragraphs out of it and using it on social media. And then you gotta even ask yourself, here again, what makes you believe he even wrote that daggum letter? He didn't send it certified mail. He didn't sign
Tag
it.
business.
I mean, people forgotten.
Look at the
what it takes
glitches.
to work
Watch
with
what's
legal
going
documents
on.
properly, especially if you're going to be dealing with a coven of lawyers at Gaia. But see, they both win, just like we talked about in the disclosure, just like this. Priscilla wins. She gets all the money, all the tears, all the stuff. Here's my buddy Jane. What a pain in the ass she is. And oh, she's hanging out with a big psychic.
Fuck
you. Know
you.
What this reminded me of, right?
Everybody wants to tease me for being a psychic in this
Will
mama.
and Sue's Pratt. Right. Blow me sideways, Jane Green.
Yeah, Baldy.
So, you know, they're trying to keep this all tasteful. And this is something they're really upset about. As regards the post in question, it referred to a true fact in that Elvis had an involuntary erection during the filming of a scene in Girls, Girls, Girls. It's common knowledge, and so is the reason no underwear plus trousers at Rub. Aren't we all a bit big for silly, giggly posts about this? I think so. I also did not appreciate the GIF that someone posted within the thread. You know who you are. And you are here within being told not to repeat things like that.
Oh wait, let me do it Elvis style. Hang on.
I thank people for reporting and tagging me. Like I said, Trevor and I have lives and cannot sit and watch all day and night. But we do act as soon as
These
we
are
know.
curved. This one's straight, and these two are in. We practiced last night. Anybody that wants to learn the fucking fuck you from Elvis, where he flips you off. Here it is.
I've done told everybody. I've got 4 pictures of somebody that looks a lot like Elvis that doesn't have no panties on the dance floor.
It's
under his
true.
pants. How about that? And I'm not giggling. We're talking about how you can tell somebody from somebody else. Do you know who he is? He wants you to. He's asking everybody, do you know who I am?
Oh, he's coming too. I've been, well, long story.
Yeah, here's those fake wedding pictures. And of course, Trevor and Jane say that no Photoshop or fake pictures are allowed. I don't think they're smart enough to know that these are Adam's pictures. Either that,
Right, nobody
or
was.
they're in so deep, and they've
Right.
fallen and they can't get up because they got fleeced with Priscilla.
Fucking right they do.
Right, this is the one about her dad passing.
92 years old, and they're crying. They should have
And he had a
been
peaceful
praising.
passing.
Right.
But people are tripping and they're so sorry, and it's so much losing your energy, and you think
Death cult fuckers.
something's stinky and fishy in Denmark. TCBing for Elvis, the Circle G Foundation, PR contact. Whitney Lee, Lee IMC. Whitney at lee-imc.com. 850-974-2002. And they celebrate the birthday of Elvis with ceremonial cross-lighting.
Shit. Oh shit.
I don't think Elvis...
Okay. So what? Today's January 5th? Elvis's birthday's January 8th. And it's like I was saying to Joe. I fucking, to the best of my ability, with everything I know to be true, and considering all the evidence, somehow, some form, we have been communicating, and I don't know who Elvis is. And that's why I say Elvi. It is not a joke. None of this is a joke. And whether it's multidimensional reality or families that have strong bloodlines that resemble one another. I mean, I'm going to ask and ask and ask. I mean, haven't you ever known a family where they all fucking look alike? I mean, I have. Bobber from the Total U. Her whole fucking family looked like Gene Wilder. I mean, the mom and dad both looked like Gene Wilder. They did. They both had natural curly hair. And they kind of looked like brother and sister, but they weren't. And then they had 5 fucking kids. Every one of them looked like Gene Wilder. But, alright. So, at least I know what the video is. I'm not going to put you through an hour of it. I don't know that I need to go through an hour of it. But I know what's going on. And this is all these posts. And that's why, when the David Wilcox thing came up, it was so evident to me. Because they had done it with the Priscilla story. And you know, I mean, I guess that's where you have to say, okay, Suze, nothing's new under the sun. But here again, I say yes, there is. Because now we've exposed it. And we should be able to see the truth. Even with fucking sunglasses on. Even if it is the nighttime and the ceiling fan light above your head isn't on. Reason I've got sunglasses on tonight is because I don't have a stitch of eye makeup on, which makes me look old and tired. And I have this basal cell on my nose. You know, that skin cancer. And Channer's always teasing about somebody having cancer. Now, years ago, I had a basal cell taken off of the center of my forehead, right here. You may even be able to see it on camera. And I'll tell you, when it first came up, it looked like a pimple. And so I popped it. And it didn't act like a pimple when it popped. And to give you an exact definition, that would mean the liquid was clear, the viscosity was thicker than water, and it healed up. It wasn't no big deal. And I know this is going to sound fucked up, but I gotta enter it into the evidence. It left this. You know, like a wrinkle in my skin this way and a wrinkle in my skin this way. And redheads are very susceptible to skin cancer. And most of the people are now because they're microwaving us, and it's a losing battle. But I have a spot on my leg that has all those these things. but it's 10 or 15 this way and 10 or 15 this way. I mean, with somebody like me that's freckled and has been burnt, okay? Like, for example, if they wanted to kill me with the heart attack gun, and they've had that around since the 50s, they use it all the time. When you hear about these mysterious deaths, heart attack gun, sorry. But anyhow, you remember them shots? Hang on, I think it's on this shoulder. You know, the shots where they gave you the fucking air puff into your arm. Well, that's how the heart attack gun works. And it leaves a little hole. So, if you have somebody that's freckled up like me, they're never going to find a little hole, let me tell you. I mean, you'd have to have perfect skin and a CSI lab and an electron microscope, you know, doing the analysis. And what the fuck's it matter? You're already dead. I think that's what they did to my grandfather, Addison Vernon Mitchell. Tag it. Now, in the meantime, what happens with my nose is it will flake and there will be a buildup. I'll put my nose right up to the camera. Fuck everybody. They can't deal with it. My story's too traumatic. Blow me sideways, Mel. I'm fighting for my life, you bitch. But anyhow, this skin can be flaked off. Any sore that doesn't heal, they will always tell you to get it checked out. Well, show me an insurance that covers your main filter organ to your body, your skin, your first line of defense. There is none. There is no insurance for this kind of procedure. And even if you're covered, you're still paying, believe me. My ex-husband, Dopey the Turnip, bitched about it for years. One basal cell off here, a mole that silly already has, you know, given his little coded message about my old witch mole, you know. It was right above my eyebrow. Well, I wanted that ugly thing off. Talk about embarrassing. A fucking mole over my eyebrow. No, I didn't like it. So I had it off. And then, of course, for anybody that knows anything about my story, my mother had burnt me with boiling water when I was in kindergarten. And you can see I'm bald right here. I have no hairline. And that's why, as a hairdresser, I always cared about doing people's hair right, because other people got fucked up hairlines and bad stories. You know, it's kind of like Channer's fucking crooked head. If you keep running a clipper guard over it, you know, a 2, a 4, I don't give a fuck what you use. It's going to imitate every lump and bump. And that's why I use a special tool, so if you got a fucking lumpy head, I can adjust your hair, and it will look perfect. And nobody will know how fucked up your head is. Kind of like me. So, back to all of this, okay? From the time you get a basal cell, you can live for 10 to 30 years. Now, unless I see immediate progress, and I do call it a divine intervention, like many of you know. Well, see, this physicality is going to have a hard time making it through the journey anyhow. And that's why so many people are coming together and trying to find solace. So, yeah, Channer, I do have skin cancer. You want to fuck with me? Because your worms and parasites are way worse than my basal cell. And when you put us head to head, brother, you're 12 years younger than me. You're obese. You are full of disease, and your tongue has thrush. which is a yeast infection. Okay? I mean, any medical person could look at you and tell. But for you to keep harassing me as a mother of 3 and a grandmother of 3 and a businesswoman that is just trying to survive while you're getting your super chats, and while, even if you talk about nothing, people will give you money and give you a thumbs up because you're a fucking suck-ass group. Well, see, I really do have no future as a businesswoman, no matter how intelligent I am. Nor do I have any future as a citizen of any place on this earth. And I've already accepted that. So, like I said, the sooner we all work together and deal with the healing, well, maybe, just maybe, this will all work out. And I believe that. Alright, let's jump ahead, see what else I put my big fucking foot in that night. And, you know, here again, since I do this all as it happens, I've taken so much heat because people are still in the beginning of the story traumatized, not knowing what the fuck I said between point A and point C. And here again, the alternative community should realize this, considering they went through the very same thing. But they wasted their time with people that have found to be nefarious. And I don't hear anybody out there that really means anything, ever, putting Elvis in the category that these other fools are finding themselves in. How would you like it if somebody did that to your... Oh, wait. They did do it to your life. Right. He just happens to be on the stage right now, and wherever he is, in whatever form he's in, he's gonna see his day. Oh, this is the fake, fucking magazines. You know, like, it reminds me of Teen Beat. You know, do you guys remember Teen Beat? Or, Tiger Magazine? That's what this fucking bullshit is. And then they'll put pictures of long face and short face side by side and tell you lies and get you to believe there was only one to begin with. I mean, I never thought there was just one. Even when I was young. Because I knew that the whole story about his death was a hoax. It was a LARP. It was a PSYOP. It was a mind control program. The question is, did the man have a plan and a plan B? Did he get out safe? And does he really have a bastard son? I don't even like that word bastard. I have a bastard daughter, like I said. So, for anybody that's a bastard, you might want to invert that and realize that you're not. Because there is too much pain and too much mind control when it comes to the beauty that's created by two people that love each other and create life. I don't care if you've got a man-made title or not. How dare they put that on any child? Okay. Oh, we'll just hide it. Right. Wrong. Okay. Where are we at now?
I don't think it's 99%. He says he's going to be the last man standing, and I said, nope, I'll be slaying you. No worries. You can slay people with love. See, they did a black magic ritual spell casting against me, and I just
Tag it. I
bombarded
got
them
hit
with the
tonight.
love, vibration, and
Son of a bitch.
next thing you know, they're running.
You gotta love
I'm
spiritual
telling
battle.
you, pluck it out. Pluck that out of you. Kind of like Janet. Okay. Now, this Maddie girl wants to know in this Elvis Presley His Truth is Marching On page, she's wondering if anyone else in here is around her age. She's 16. And then she
Tag
proceeds
it!
to show some very provocative pictures of herself, like, hey, Elvis liked little girls then, meaning Priscilla. Maybe some old man will like me now. I need some money. I'm going to be a brain surgeon in college.
Look, I just gotta say, seriously. We just dealt with that in yesterday's show with that fucked up movie, Elvis and Me, which was, oh my God, which was, that it was like an after school movie. Don Johnson played Elvis, and, he made the virgin beauty queen take the pills, and every time they had sex, she cried. And you guys, thus my case for hagiography. Here again. All right, go ahead, Suze.
Yeah, this is that young girl still. And then I follow her over to Harry McWilliam because he's got no friends. Oh, wait, these are Maddie's friends. I'm checking people out. We're still on Maddie. This is little Maddie. She really likes Elvis. Oh, she's in a relationship with Harry. I forgot. That's nice. Now they talk about what's going on with these kids. Okay, this flow. Remember that freak show couple that had all those kids and they got busted in California? What this is it's a script again. They're working with propaganda and they're connecting it to these two being bad people because they.
Now, okay, why would Jerry think that this would not make me a good undercover journalist? Or is Jerry really sent by the man of mystery just to go, hey, look over here? Because I really had no clue. And, I've done 40 videos on this subject, and yes, I do watch my videos again after I do them because this state that I find myself in every day is always amazing for me to watch back because I pick up more things. I do want to bring up at this time, like Robert Phoenix on his show today, The 11th House, he had Steve and Chris on, and they're this really cute couple in their golden years and younger than half of what their numerical age would be, But anyhow, they were talking about on his show the day before that the audience had seen on their screens, like ether developing on Robert's computer screen. And the audience, the people watching the show saw it. Robert himself did not see it. And that is correct because I've documented many instances of that as well. Sometimes I know the network is here because I'll see the screen pulse from that fuzzier place to more that accurate place, like where it brings it into focus. And if you want, you just look at the video where someone, the international man of, actually melded my image that they were capturing from my computer and put it into Elvis's video. That one really freaks people out. But, the first time it happened, I was so excited because I thought, well, now people will really get it and they'll understand what's going on with the glitching and the two-way video communication, third-party analysis, everything that, yes, my insignificant, uncollege-educated, female, nag-rag and ass brought first. They already know. So there's no need to fight about it. Who brings who first? They brought me. And they use me as a mouthpiece. And I'm okay with that. I enjoy it. And it does make a difference. So, okay, let's move on. Where will we find ourselves here?
Forced the nomination process for justices to change. Lost 5 special elections. Proven they hate democracy.
Okay, we're going back a little bit. We're going to catch the front of this. It's important. We're reading somebody's information that they've shared to a stream, I think.
Alright. Now, see, I'm not into this Republican-Democrat thing. I think it's a crock of shit. I think anybody that holds a public office should have to write their own speech and stand on their own integrity and morals and beliefs.
Tag it.
And see, once you...
At least my story stays the same.
Well, then you're assuming all the people feel the same way about that subject. So, this is what Lisa feels that the Democrats have accomplished in 12 months. Offers no solution to anything.
Oh, the actress known as Lisa.
A 12-month-long temper tantrum. Forced the nomination process for justices to change. Lost 5 special elections. Proven they hate democracy. Engaged in unprecedented obstruction of a new president. Proven they have nothing but contempt for the First Amendment.
Tag it.
Repeatedly insulted over half of the country. Expose the fact that they have no concept of what a constitutional actually means. Expose their contempt for the laws passed by Congress. Alienated middle-of-the-road voters. Alienated legal immigrants.
What the hell's going on? Okay, now my video stops. Okay,
Yeah,
we just
Lisa's
picked
a
back up.
genius, man. She ought to run for office. And this is what I say. Because I'll always leave my comment. Suze Pratt says, Bowl Cut and his bride are the type who renewed their wedding vows via an Elvis impersonator.
I know who we're talking about.
Preacher dude who trademarked his business name way back then. Anyhow, that was 2010, and now Elvis Presley Enterprises says he cannot use the name anymore, and there is friction in the air. Of course, when mainstream first leaked it, they surely must have had nefarious intent to try and connect that spellcasting onto the man's image one more time before the folks like this turn to dust. This is where homeschooling is more like prison for the control of course. Poor kids, tar and feathers, for what they call parentals. That's the right word. Right, there. We're still out. Okay. Or the use of the word alleged. Who even said they're really their parents? You ever heard of those people that just like have a bunch of kids around? Show me the birth certificates. Give me some fucking proof. Anybody got any facts, figures, or statistics? My buddy Steven says life in prison. Jails will need to be built to hold all that follow. Isn't that the truth, my friend? Must be a better way.
Boy, I sure do have a lot of glitches on this show, huh? See the network picking up? See the screen change?
Oh, I never heard Elvis say hound dog, a hound dog. Mm-mm. And then laugh? That's because it's that. There's that stupid comment again. Hey, how did I get caught? I want out of all this. I read what was important. Let's just, oh. Man, did I ever mention how much this drives me nuts? Like I said, any grown-ass people that make their face
That's
out of proportion
creepy.
and put animal cutie patooties on it, especially when they put their kids on it too. There's two people.
Oh, right, the mom, and then
that are
there's the
being
kid sleeping on her. See how fuzzy it is?
somehow.
Oh, you mean because I'm sharing screenshots of
Which someone
traffickers?
won't say anything about. Okay,
Ooh, there's Jane Green. Yeah.
this gal shows herself as a woman with a full head of hair and way younger. And here she is saying another awful selfie at the hair salon, LOL. You look like a sick person. So there's that guy that saved Elvis's reputation. Now here's that gal holding her kid on the couch. And obviously she had more hair that got broke off in a straight iron or over bleach.
She's the
as you
bitch that
can
wanted to
see.
fight me about the white cat on Marlon Brando who's supposed to be Elvis. It's like, you don't even know your ass from a hole in the ground.
This says, Elvis in concert. Lisa Marie doesn't even want it released and they respect her wishes. Ernst had no wish to release the concerts on audio because the bad shape Elvis was in. So that seems to rule out the FTD release.
Okay, I gotta say something now. Early on in the Presley mystery, when SKMI was showing me everything and asking me all the questions and dancing me around, which is fine. I love SKMI. He knows that. But what are we talking about? The Jane Green? Oh, fuck. Come on. It was something really serious about this. It's not coming to me right now. It might come back. That happens a lot. Let me just... Hang on.
Lisa Marie doesn't even want it released and they respect her wishes. Ernst had no wish to release the concerts on audio because the bad shape Elvis was in. So that seems to rule out the FTD release. The Aloha and Madison Square Garden LPs will eventually be released in FTD's classic album series.
What a trip. All right, one more time. And then I've had enough. And we're going to go back And look at our concerts from today. I feel like they're pulling me with them one of them hooks, like you know when they'd get the person off the stage and go, "Come on, we gotta go and we gotta go do this thing." That's how I feel right now. But I just want one more, and I'm gonna get some tea. Yep, I gotta get tea, and let's see. Go to one of my favorite combinations of numbers. There we go. I don't know what it is. Let's see. Be right back.
And we've got this, all these different kinds of disclosure that the U.S. National Archives put out.
Oh, great,
They had
Suze.
to get that out.
Good job.
Once all this happened. Because I got the timestamps, man. Come on. Lisa Marie Presley sues former manager for $100 million after announcing massive debt. How couldn't she do that? And she was the heir of Graceland, and Priscilla's worth a bunch of money and made Graceland a bunch of money, and you're telling me these two Kaplan hags can't figure shit out? And you guys want to know why men don't trust women? What's going on over there, Boom Chicky Boom? We're on I Love Lucy. Hang on. We,
Okay. Let's not get in trouble for playing I Love Lucy. Wonder where we're at. I'm always in
embarrassed,
trouble.
man, of how the American people have treated this whole Elvis story and how fucking stupid they are. Where the international community was pretty much kinder, more compassionate, considerate, and actually knew about the story. States never got to go out of the country. Now you're back, there has to be two of them. Dadgum. Just goes on and on. Let's see what's going on here. I need a little break from all my talk. And just in a nick of time, I think we're going to go harass Funny. Because I want to quit talking for a minute. And I want to hear what his stupid mouth is saying. And I want to drink some of my drinks. And I want to smoke some of my smokes. And I want to make fun of Sunny. So we're off picture time for a minute. But I will be back. And you know I can live stream for up to 4 hours. And I'm in a good mood. And
All
I'm
right.
live stream.
So, that ends this live stream. And from there, I'll go back for you guys because remember, this video was banned in 248 countries because of 1 minute and 9 seconds of a song that may be owned by SME, Semi Music Entertainment. Why are we talking about Now, that again? What I did do was I disputed that claim on Facebook, and I feel like we've already heard this, and I've already said it. Goes. But we're at the end of a video. The saga moves on, but boy, things are hitting the fan fast, and here we are, almost at midnight. And yeah. Before the big partial eclipse. So boogie boogie. And once again, try the best you can to get over the idea that you got taken on whatever idea it is. It's okay. We all we're in the same boat, but damn it, don't drown each other. Let's just get this life preserver and bridge and every other thing we need. And it'd be cool. So, peace, love, and light from the big yellow house. On the third cosmic ray from Ferguson. See you soon. How weird. And then there's Downspace on the end of my video, which usually I don't really do. Huh. Alright. There we go. Another clue in the mystery bucket. And that's the picture show Elvis and Me. I streamed it live on July 11th, 2018. Channer was talking about the other night that only about 50 people watch my videos, and you know, I keep trying to explain that that's what the numbers show here, and that these videos are actually being put into other things that are shown to people that know what's up, and it makes me hot. Okay. That's when your blood pressure goes up, by the way. Or when you have adrenaline and cortisol shoot through your body. And that's an A blood type. Alright. So, let's get back to the fun here. And Raksha's upset, God love him. I know it's really hard. Let's look at the first one. Okay. So, I got invited to the viewing party, and I keep getting teased from the International Man of Mystery and his friends that I don't know heavy metal music. Well, I don't think that a lot of people study all genres of music, and that's primary to this investigation, because if you're under a contract and they only want you to do bubblegum, but you really like to rock and roll, you can see where this applies. But this was a live acoustic concert of Alice in Chains with the new guy. Because, you know, the old guy, he was sad and something bad happened. And it's like a lot of things, whether it's mind control or whether it's being in so much pain that you wind up dulling it with alcohol or pills or heroin. It's pretty much how it works, and that's the flagship of our medical industry and the reason for war. So, what we're looking at here was when my comment was not allowed to be shown. And I thought, what did I do now? So, what I said is maybe it's time to unplug this corrupt system. Some say war, others say heroin pills, pain's a bitch. Yet, he ain't gonna die. And he was singing that song about he ain't gonna die. And that's what I wrote. So, like I said, the post, and this is my official statement, and this is my proof. So you see how it works. The poster object that I was commenting has been removed by its owner and can no longer be commented on. And I said, this seems odd. And the dude by the name of Craig, and I put it in quotes because this is what he said, is, who the fuck are this a fucked band? Now, when somebody makes such an ignorant sentence, you can almost guarantee that's a bot. I mean, just ask an expert, they'll tell you. But I don't need to be studied in that to know that and to see it in practical working experience live. This is how you can tell who's who. Now, after he said that stupid statement, I clicked the angry face. You know, like you either like it or you think it's sad or it makes you angry. I decided to fuck with him. I knew exactly what I was doing. And 3 of the profiles that were there during the time were what I call corrupted, which means they were fake. And then I said, this is the first time I have ever heard the band Alice in Chains, current day, acoustic, with the new guy who's fantastic. All I know is it's on. Now, I proceeded to screenshot the evidence before it magically went away, because I'm documenting every day now, like we know. So, Edward Pledger, I think, would be the identity of the person having the party. And now we're to my first comment as I come in. And I said, glad I rolled in at this key moment. And this guy's enjoying it at 6 in the morning where he is. Craig Reynolds is who said that stupid sentence that isn't real. And when I clicked on his profile real time, he's a big fat fucking trailer park, dirty, grimy, greasy, hairy, actually ugly person. And then people go, yeah, it's Alice in Chains. Well, that was never in dispute. It said it right at the top. And that shows ignorance. Now, here, what I did, this is that, remember, nobody's allowed to see this, and I'm not allowed to comment anymore either. I'm in jail. But this Douglas Taylor, and he's replying to Craig, says, must be a loser life like yours. Now, where does that fit in to the concert is what I'm curious about. I do need to let my cat in. She's scratching at the window. Okie doke. So, this is one of my angel cards, and I had put the release up because I believe that these artists and these performers and these singers use their musical talents to release their stress and their tension, as well as bring beauty to the world. And I said, yeah, you guys know that. Okay, I already said it. So we're out of this one. And we're back. Well, come on then if you're coming up. Dadgummit. Don't stick your claws in, girl. Okay. Now here, this dude right here, he's the guy that carries on the artistry that the first guy had laid down. And you can see that what I did is I screen captured. Come on. Come on, you coming up? Come on, you coming up or not? Come on. Alright. So, you know the rules. We can't do it that way. Alright, so anyhow, you can see this post has been removed, and that's that evidence there. Okay. So now look at this. And this is where you can really tell that something is weird. Because what I did is I went ahead and made a second comment because the very guy with the purple circle, where are you going? Um, liked my comment, the first comment in. So I thought that was very strange, but what I said is did not mean to offend. My apologies. And what happened to me was I got the same treatment. And that's not right. If that was a human, that wouldn't have happened. And the guy with the circle, Edward Pledger, he said Alice in Chains people know about Angry Chair. Well, I didn't never know about Angry Chair, and I appreciated it that Alice in Chains put the name of each song as they were doing their deal. This is the words that alright, now I got a job, but it don't pay. I need new clothes. I need somewhere to stay. But without all these things I can do, but without your love, I won't make it through. But you don't understand my point of view. I suppose there's nothing I can do. And it's, did you stand by me? Oh, well, this must be the other guys, because does Alice in Chains sing that? What is going on, Suze? This is You Stand By Me or Not At All. I know this song. We must be done with the Alice in Chains part. Let's see, here's the first verse. You say you stand by your man. Tell me something I don't understand. You said you love me, and that's a fact. And then you left me, said you felt trapped. Well, some things you can explain away, but the heartache's in me till this day. Did you stand by me? No, not at all. All the times when we were close, I'll remember these things the most. I see all my dreams come tumbling down. I can't be happy without you around. So all alone I keep the wolves at bay. And there's only one thing I can say. And I haven't lied. And that's why somebody is communicating with me. We talked about that the other day. Okay, so let's get out of there. Oh, it's these guys. Right. Okay, so I get in trouble at the one party and I didn't do nothing. I mean, you got people going off on each other and I'm the one that gets, choked out. You always know it's a bad thing. And a lot of people would say Alice in Chains would be a satanic band. But I didn't think that when I was listening to them. And like I said to Joe, I am sitting here and appreciating the music, listening to the music, the words, the way they put the little things together. I like to wash their hands. I mean, it's an art form. But then, and I'm not really sure because y'all think you're funny, Howie Dalton, my incredible poet friend. But I saw two names of two of my friends, and the name that I saw, I think, was Oreo Sky, not Aurora, Oreo Sky. And that's that really cute gal that has been on her little magical mystery tour and is no longer in the States. She has long hair. She's beautiful. Very nice woman. And of course, she fits in because she winds up being the ex of somebody that winds up in the thing and, It wasn't something I was really in. And I don't want to say the guy's name because if I get it wrong, I'll be wrong. And she don't need me bringing it up. So, anyhow, I decided that I'm just listening to music because, like I told you, the stress level today from other people's shit attacked my day. Now, this happens all the time to people, but I battle against it. And like I said to my son, one day I will make it to the place where I just adjust the tuning and the frequency of my own self, and it wouldn't matter if there was bombs going off around me and I didn't have a cigarette. I'd be okay. And, you know, when you think about all the addictions that have been thrown upon us, especially the mind control thing, this is a huge, huge thing to work with. And if everybody's all involved on social media and it's mostly going on this television screen, which is the computer, or any screen you turn on, even going outside and looking at the screen that you think is your life, you got to learn the skill if you're going to survive. So these guys, every song they sang made sense. Another coded message. They knew I was there. I knew that they knew that I knew. It was all very jubilescent, and everybody was partying tonight, having these music parties. And that's why I kicked up those words, because they sang that song. And when I come in here, I said, nice, visiting watch parties. You're kidding. That's the only picture I brought to the table? Oh, brother. Well, there's way more, but they're not here on Facebook. Okay. This, I want to play a snippet, and we're going to go.
If you write anything on your...
This is my friend that I feature quite often, I see here in 2019, and I love his energy. And the name of his channel is Evolutionary Energy Arts. He published this today, January 4th, you know. And like I told you, I think he likes coffee. And he gives you an HTTPS if you want to buy him a coffee. We want to go about 6:39 in.
I write pretty much.
And we're just riding through the ad.
Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. Well, guys, I received this from a subscriber.
Let me give you the open.
For a long time, and just saying, did you see this? So this is from apparently it's from Dr. Peter Vincent Pry, and it says to be as concise and succinct as possible. I must implore everyone who sees this to do all the following as quickly as possible. Stockpile food, water, and the means to acquire, purify, much, much more. Prepare for an imminent situation that may impact us all, coast to coast. So, you know, why should we care, you know, if it's just a person, just a random nobody? That's the big question. Is this a random nobody? Well, again, this is the same message here, and this is taken from disclose.tv feed. Now, Dr. Peter Pry is the Executive Director of the Task Force on National and Homeland Security and Director of the U.S. Nuclear Strategy Forum, hosts congressional advisory boards, and served on the Congressional EMP Commission, the Congressional Strategic Posture Commission, the House Armed Services Committee, and the CIA. And so he's the author of books Blackout Wars, Apocalypse Unknown, and Electric Armageddon. And, you know, he's a legit person, without a doubt. And, yeah, he's an Amazon author. He's put out quite a few books, as it's saying there. And this is more about Dr. Pry and his services. So obviously very Rich background, was an intelligence officer with the CIA responsible for analyzing Soviet and Russian nuclear strategy, operational plans, military doctrine, threat perceptions, and developing U.S. paradigms for strategic warning. That was from 85 to 95. Also served as a verification analyst at the U.S. Arms Control and Disarmament Agency, responsible for assessing Soviet compliance with strategic and military arms control treaties, 84 to 85, and written numerous books on national security issues. Long time.
Okay, now.
Interesting.
All right. So, you got who he is. Now let's go to the meat of this.
I need assistance. I can only move my neck.
How much does it pay? Hell yeah. My bad, man.
Have you could change a catheter?
This don't look like it's gonna fit.
That's what she said. Have you ever listened?
I had a catheter once. It was a living hell. That's funny.
Talk to me.
I look like
Look
a
at-
Porn star.
And so this is his
Okay.
Facebook. And I'll have the links for you on this as well. And you could go through and look at it. And this is interesting because many of you might remember, if you've been with the channel for a while, Asia, who basically, going back about 10 months ago, was talking about in 2019, in September, there being, she had received the message, again, channeled message, which again, many people will automatically discount.
I hear
That's
you
fine,
singing in
everybody
my
listening
ear,
to
by the
it lined
way.
up. But basically that there would be something ignited over the Dakotas, like a missile or something along those lines, that would cause an EMP and take out the grid. And so she saw that in this year, but happening around September, October. And so I have talked to her about coming back on, because she's been very accurate in what she has told us, and we did numerous shows together. And so she was seeing that for the September-October timeline, which honestly is what my gut has always been, as far as when things really do progress to the level where we do have an attack on the U.S. And as I've shared with a lot of you guys, if you've been with me a while, I've even done some videos on it, I've had dreams about this all my life.
Me
And
too.
So
Me too.
I've dreamt many times about the attack on the U.S. that I really truly feel is going to happen in our lifetimes, and I feel it's very close. And this is just my intuition and the dreams that I've had. So when anything like this comes up, I pay close attention. And so we also have going on, besides this warning, this is Greg Rubini. And so according to Greg Rubini, basically the trials are happening now, and many people have talked about this. Military tribunals started yesterday,
I
January
believe
2nd,
this.
2019. And so many people are saying it's on. It's definitely on. These tribunals, these sealed indictments are actually starting to be unsealed. And, you're actually having some tribunals. There are people that noticed and thought that certain individuals at George Bush Sr.'s funeral were actually showing signs of, stress and stuff, not related to necessarily the funeral, but, related to the fact that they were going to be soon participants in these military tribunals that supposedly started on the 2nd, according to Greg Rubini. Now, doing some research into this photo is actually an old photo from back in 2014. So, whether he knew he was using a stock photo and realized this photo is from 2014 and this is not an actual photo of the ongoing tribunals is one thing.
Happens every
Or if
day,
this
my
means
fine
that
friend.
It's totally bunk, then again, it's something for each to decide on their
Right.
own. But I just wanted to make you guys aware of some of these things that are going
Bless your
on.
heart.
Now, we also have...
And that's all you can really do, is thank the people that are doing the best that they can do and leaving the decision up to the individual. Now, even though I just said that I do believe these tribunals are starting, you also have to remember that there will be both sides. And there are allegedly 46 indictments that have been created against people that have Russian names and backgrounds that aren't really people. So, which cup is the ball under? And I think that depending on what we do and contribute every day, that it matters, and that you'll know which cup has the ball. Unless they all got the ball. Sometimes that's the trick too. Never do know. Alright, let's just jump back. Am I almost done? Yeah. Good, good, good. Okay. So, this was eye-opening too. And it really makes me happy, as silly as it sounds. This is a video. Well, hell, I can just show it to you. SKMI is my friend. Don't ever forget that. I mean, come on. Are you kidding me? So, SKMI is who gave me the documents for my report. So if Facebook or YouTube or Google or Twitter or anybody's got any problem, well, now you know who to deal with. And hey, be gentle on him, because he's got a hard story to tell. He done told it, and I already told it to you guys. So this guy needs to at least be given consideration, because he's been working on it for years. More years than I have. And he's very emotional, even to a fault. And he knows it. But he knows I'm his friend. And I said 4 hours ago, number one wants his name shouted out. I'll tell y'all once he tells me. I don't know what name to shout out. Okay? SKMI told me once so long ago, no Adam. Adam's just a name. It could be called anything. You could call this stream Johnny Cash, you know, it doesn't matter. And I have seen multiple channels and how they multiply. And like I told you, SKMI went from one guy to thousands of identities. Male, female, all different colors. That's how it works. Ask Cliff High about those bots. I mean, I've given plenty of indicators that this all makes relevant sense. But let me show you. Okay. So he says no Adam, but here's what I'm telling you. Straight up, straight out. All roads lead to Adam Presley. And that's Mr. A.P. So if there's any name that I'm gonna shout out, that'd be the name I'd lean towards. Now you can see how these images have been played with. And that's okay. But that's not Elvis. That's Adam jumping into a biometric. Adam is the bastard son of Elvis Presley. He has many fragmented pieces. Some know him as SKMI. Some know him as Michael. I know him as Adam. And Lord have mercy, there's more than one of them. He's got a twin. I need to know if the mind meld is between me and these twins. I mean, I had to ask Silly yesterday. Don't tell me you're the third fucking mind link. Pain in my ass. But they think they're funny. And it's been a lot of fun. And I do love these guys. It's my family somehow. I have no idea yet. I wish he'd hurry his ass up. Hey, you know Elvis's birthday is coming up. International Man of Whoop-de-Doo. January the 8th, right? I'm still traumatized where I confuse the numbers. August 16th, 77 is when he allegedly passed. What's wrong with your nose? What's wrong with your nose? Allergies? SKMI said it was allergies. Hey, which Bob Joyce are you? Bob or Robert? Elvis Alive by Skutnik Michael. There's the blonde one with the long vampire teeth. But the man is alive. Cheers, Mr. Presley by Skutnik. I don't think that that's Elvis, by the way, this guy. These are all images that hide the true man. This is how the government slices together faces. This image is not Elvis, it's the other one. There's generations of these guys. Fucking Highlanders. Alright, so a lot of people, obviously believe Bob Joyce is Elvis in disguise. And that voice, they're okay, so this is Skutnik Michael. Hang on. Don't you leave, Skutnik. Okay. Alright, now, let me try to paint you the picture that I was painted. There's some kind of a major legal battle. He is the bastard son. He does not have the name of the family. He has tried to get countless people all over the world to help him. He is sad. He is confused. He has lost a son himself. And this is Skutnik Michael. But, for real, you could always tell that these images have been altered and are photoshopped as well. Remember, it's very complicated. It's not just as simple as cut and paste. Kind of like the JFK assassination piece that we played yesterday. The technology is incredible. And they're turning it around and they're going to do good with it. Or I'm going to open up a can of whoop ass and spank a couple kids and put them in the corner or something. I don't know. But you can see he's kind of like a multi-dimensional character here, you see. And he's giving you codes in the back. Everything is for a reason. He hit me with all the numerology, gematria early on. We're going to say 2 twins that appear to be the same. He's divided into a trinity, as you can see. We have the white light here. Moves up. We see how that does. He's got his Charo outfit on here. And his Back to the Future outfit here. And, what the hell's this? It looks like a... Oh, it's his computer, isn't it? Because the cord goes up to the things that he puts on his ears, his headphones. But this is the fanciest fucking computer I ever seen. It looks like a magic book. Like out of Lord of the Rings or something, and I never watched that. But I've learned about it on the adventure, so what about this side? Maybe this is his skateboard or his magic mirror. I don't know what the fuck it is, Skutnik Michael, but you're pretty smart sometimes. And I didn't yell at you. Beautiful man. Gray eyes. You better tag it. He doesn't have gray eyes. This one does not have gray eyes. But Jesus did. I told Joe tonight, and I always tell him because nobody is going to say that I lied to that man. I haven't lied to nobody. Oh, geez. Here we go with the voice comparison. But that is not Elvis. That's number 1 dicking around. Hang on. You better tag it. It's in Spanish or something. Look at him smiling. He knows. See the glitches? Look at the shit on this alien's head over here. Where'd you go, number 1? You guys are fucking with me right now, and nobody's gonna believe me. But I'm gonna say it right out loud. Y'all are singing like a bunch of Hellcats. Earlier, it didn't sound like that. I got no tacos. You guys are ate up like a fucking soup sandwich, Mr. Computer Head. Drive a woman to smoke. Fucking bunch of shit. I still want to talk about the alien dude. This is not what I heard earlier. He's been fucking with me all day.
Hold to God's unchanging hand. Hold to God's unchanging hand.
Okay, I try to explain to people. I believe Bob Joyce is a prophet. And I gotta remind you to go back to the movie Dogma. The prophets were Jay and Silent Bob. And in Dogma, it starts out by saying you gotta know God has a great sense of humor. Otherwise, he would have never invented the platypus. Now, no matter who you think this guy is, or no matter who you think I am, or even no matter who you think you are, this applies. It is hard to hold yourself up to this image that people say as they slander your reputation. And then you have to go back to the Bible Thumper group, which I'm not making fun of, but I'm saying this is true. The man that we know as Jesus said, "Who do you say I am, you fuckers?" So, take bloody Jesus off the cross. It's always a good place to put the focus. Celebrate the lives of the people that mean something to you. And hey, support the lives of the people you don't know that sacrificed everything. Or just most of it. Because, I mean, there's nothing I can't stand worse than a martyr. Isn't that fucked up? And look what I do. When I say a martyr, I mean someone that wants to be hurt and torn apart and feel like a piece of shit and say that they're a sinner and consent to get drowned in a pot of boiling oil. I don't know. They don't even let people be saints until they've been dead thousands of years after they crucified them or dropped them in a fucking pond. I got no clue. I was never affiliated in this lifetime, but what I call God has been walking directly by me my whole life, picking me up, carrying me, loving me, and putting me back down into another situation that makes no sense to people as they observe it. I'm comfortable. So, many blessings to y'all. And this is Suze Pratt saying, fuck, no. Peace, love, and light, seriously. And always remember, the unseen is every bit as real as the seen. And there is way more of the unseen than you can shake a stick at. So, peace out, man. I'm gonna chill out and see what they got waiting for me.